Okay, let's go ahead and dive in and get started. So I am Rob with Campus Contact, formerly School Desk, and we're going to dive in and show you the high-level overview of the new website system. I'm going to show you where everything is, basically, where all of the new buttons and features and such are. And we're not going to take a deep dive into content management yet. That's actually going to be in our 4 o'clock class. But this morning's class is really a high-level overview of just where everything is in the new system and how it all works. So let's dive right in. If you have your new website already, you'll notice that there's no login page at the bottom anymore. All of our old sites used to have a login link at the bottom, but that's gone now because the kids used to just go beat that link up trying to hack into the website. And so we have removed the login link. And so now you just have to remember that if you're going to manage your website, you want to log in and edit anything, instead of clicking a login link at the bottom, you now have to go to admin.campuscontact.com. When you go to admin.campuscontact.com, you'll be taken to a login screen, and I'm going to log in with my demo user. And that's where you will log in. So remember, admin.campuscontact.com when you want to administrate your Campus Contact website, admin.campuscontact.com. You'll also be getting a link to this URL in your email when you're first added to your website. So you may want to hang on to that email just in case you forget it. But let's go ahead and log in. And now that I'm logged in, I'll get to see my new dashboard. And this dashboard will show you all of the sites that you have access to. Now, most folks only have access to one single site or maybe 2 sites. But if you're a district administrator or a district technology person who has management rights to all the sites, then you'll see all of the sites listed here, and you can quickly and easily jump to any of the sites without logging in again. You don't have to log in when you go from one site to another either. So you would just go back to this dashboard, select a different site that you want to manage, and continue editing. So in this dashboard, we've got a few things. First at the top is a search, and if you had a lot of sites, then you could use that search function to find any other sites in your dashboard. So like if you're with Tucson, for example, and you've got 80 sites in your dashboard, it's quick and easy to just type in a search and you'll find them all there, the one you're looking for. You'll see a little thumbnail screenshot of what your site looks like currently, and you can either click on that to go edit it, or you can click on the edit button to the right side. Either one would both take you to the edit page to edit the site. But before we do that, we're going to click some of these other items on the right. We have the ability to preview the site. So if we click the preview option, this is helpful where if you ever need to send somebody a preview of what the site looks like before it actually goes live, you can share a little preview link with them, and they can see how it's going to look on a desktop, tablet, as well as a mobile device. So they can see it in all the different modes and actually use it just to make sure everything's going to work right for them. So that's the preview mode. A little further over are stats, and this being a test site, it never gets any public traffic, but the stats are basically the equivalent of Google Analytics built right into your website. If you click on stats, you'll be taken to your stats site. Of course, this one has none, but you can find stats any time period, yesterday, a week, a month, or any specific time frame that you want to see stats for. And you'll see a lot of information in here, just like you would in Google Analytics, but it's a little cleaner and easier to use. And it shows the breakdown by desktop, tablet, or mobile. I'm going to leave mine on total just because there's so few hits on this page. But you can also see individual page details, how many times a page has been viewed, average time, bounce rate, different kind of engagements, traffic sources, browsers that they're using, geolocation, and insight. If you have any insight pop-ups or any personalization, which we'll talk about shortly, it'll also show the traffic to those items. So the stats is pretty nice, and it's all built right into your system. You don't need Google Analytics anymore. If you really are a Google Analytics fan, you can still embed your Google code and still use that, but we've just made it easier so you don't even have to. Now further to the right, you have this little hamburger menu, and that actually is where we're going to be adding some more items as we go along. If you've added a school store or a blog, you'll see that in here. This one just has a store and forms. And so you'll see that all forms are now routed to one single location. In the past, if you had 10 forms on your website and you wanted to see the results of those 10 forms, you had to go to all those 10 places to find the results of your forms. Now they're all aggregated and located in one single location so that you can find the results of all your forms that you have in your site. Now, of course, ours has none because it's just a test site. But again, you'll be able to find all your form submissions in one single aggregated location. So it's really nice to be able to access everything in one spot. So that's pretty much it for your dashboard. The other thing is at the top is, of course, your account management, where you can manage your own profile in terms of your username, password, even add a photo to your profile if you want, as well as sign out. Now, this new system does not sign you out automatically. It will leave you logged in. So you need to remember that as you're working on your site, especially if you're doing it in a classroom, make sure that you log out. I can't say that enough or stress that enough. If you stay logged in and the students come behind you and they decided to make some changes on your account, it's going to reflect that it was done on your account, and they probably won't be doing good things for you. So make sure that you log out by mousing over your name at the top right, click on sign out, and you'll be taken back to the login page. So again, make sure that you log out because it's not going to log out for you. Let me log back in. All right, so log back into my dashboard. Let's dive into the new website that we're working on today. And today I'm working on a different design, one that you guys didn't see before. This is actually a new design for Leake County Schools in Mississippi. And just highlighting a different style of design for you today. And we can tell that we're logged into our website because at the top we see a black bar going across the top. We see the Campus Contact logo and some options at the top. We're going to go through those real quick, and then we're going to dive into the items on the left-hand side. So at the top, we've got a little drop-down that will quickly jump you to any page in your site. So it's a nice, handy, quick jump down, especially if you've got pages that are hidden in your site. Maybe they're turned off in the navigation or whatever the case may be. Everything will show up in this drop-down so you can quickly jump to any page. Now, you can also still use the navigation if you want to, just jump to any page from there, but this is also a nice method because sometimes you might have a page that is not shown in the navigation, in which case you'll need another way to get to it. You can use this top drop down or the item on the left for pages, which I'll show you soon. Also at the top are different views, so you can manage your site and see exactly how it's going to look on the different devices. So I can see that right now I'm in the desktop mode and see how the site's going to look. If I click on tablet view, I can now see that it's going to look like this in the tablet mode. So I can see how it's going to look on a tablet. And I can also click on the mobile device to see how it's going to look on a cell phone, and I can see how it's going to work there. So it's nice to be able to see exactly how things are going to work and line up and look on the different devices without you ever having to go grab another device to actually view it. So it's nice to be able to edit it and manage it specifically for those different devices. To the right, we have a search option, allows you to search the editor. So if you're looking for anything in specific, like, I don't know, the accordion, for example, I'll just type ACC, you'll find the, it's kind of a quick access to find different things. To the right of that is a little eye for information and tools. And you'll find quite a few things in this little eye area. First off, you'll see your site info in terms of your actual URL. And we can change the URL so it's not a campuscontact.com domain. In fact, most schools are using their own. If you're like, you know, Putnam, it'll be putnam.k12.ga.us or whatever your domain is. So, you know, the domain can be easily changed by us or by you or by the district administrator to reflect whatever it is you want that domain to be. You can also see the status of your site. I can see that this one is published. It says published here at the bottom. You can also have share a preview link. So if you're working on your website, maybe you're not ready for it to go live, maybe you want to send it to some other folks to get some ideas or input or maybe approval before it goes live. Well, you can share a preview link and you can see it in desktop or mobile mode or all of them. And all you have to do is copy this link, click copy, and then paste that link, and they will see the website in the different modes. And so that's really useful, like I said, if you have to get approval on something, or if you just want to get some ideas before you push some content out, you can share that preview link. And it's not a live link that the rest of the world is seeing yet, but it's a preview link that only you and whoever else you've shared it with are seeing the changes that you've made in the site before it actually goes live. Also under here are the stats. As I showed you a minute ago, the stats are located on the dashboard, but it's also built in here. There's actually 3 different places that you can access stats, but this is number 2 in this information thing up here at the top. Of course, if you click the open stats, it's going to jump over to where we were a minute ago to see the stats, and now we're back to that. So just another way to get to your site stats instead of Google Analytics. Next is the editor language. So this is the editor language, and you logged in as an editor. You can select the language of the editor. This is not going to change the site language or what the public sees or any verbiage on the site. This is just going to be the editor itself. Like these items on the left will change to whatever language you want, and everything else from an admin standpoint can be changed to whatever language you want. There's a checkbox that will show you that all changes are saved. Gone are the days that you have to go down and click on the save or update button. That's gone. Everything that you do now on the site is automatically saved as you make any changes. So if you're editing something in the top here, and you want to say my school district, all you have to do is click the change box, and it's done. It's automatically saved. You don't have to go refresh the page. It's much faster, and it automatically saves everything. Now, it's not automatically pushed out live, so right now you're the only one in the world seeing these changes. And that brings us to some of these other items over here on the right. We're going to get to the publish in a minute. Before I get to the publish or the republish button, we'll show the preview button. So the preview option is really useful because it takes you into a different mode. As you see, I'm in edit mode, and I mouse over anything, and it puts this little blue box around everything because it thinks I want to edit stuff. Well, if you don't want to edit it, you just want to see how it functions, you really need to go into preview mode. For example, this button here is a link to, actually, we'll link it to a calendar. Right now, I'll just link it to the newsletter page. If I want to see how it works and I want to see it go to the newsletter page while I'm in edit mode, it thinks I want to edit it. And so it's not going to let me go to that link. Instead, if I go to the preview mode and I click on it, now it's going to function as it would because I'm actually out of edit mode, and now it's just going to function like a normal button. So again, if you want to test your links or your buttons and things, make sure that you're in preview mode. When you're finished, or if you want to make additional changes, go back into edit mode and continue making your changes there. Next is the republish button, and probably the most important thing you're going to have to remember is that while everything is auto-saved, everything is not automatically published to the world. In fact, nothing is published to the world until you hit that republish button at the top right. So you can make all kinds of changes in here, add pages and pictures and links and updates and whatever you want, but nobody's going to see it until you hit that republish button. You're basically taking all those changes you've made and you're pushing them out. So that's, you know, if you don't do that, it's not going to go live. We've had several people in the past come to us, go, I just added a bunch of pages, a bunch of new stuff, and it's gone. No, it's not gone. You just didn't publish it. So you have to hit the republish button, and as soon as you do, all those changes you make will be instantly live, and you're done. So just make sure that you hit that republish button when you're finished or when you're ready for your content to be seen. So the nice thing about that is if you're working on lots of content and you don't want people to see it yet, don't hit the republish button until you're completely finished, and then you can do it. To the right of that, we've got a lot of help documentation, a lot of information here for you. So if you click that help link, you'll be taken to the Help Center. There's a very good search tool in here, as well as a lot of information about how to manage your website, how to import content, add widgets and widgets design, and just all kinds of information is in here for you. So I'm not going to have a chance to cover everything today, either in this morning session or the afternoon session. So if you feel like you've missed some things, poke around in the Help Center area, and you'll find a lot of documentation for just about everything you need. Now you can also go to campuscontact.com/support and get help from us if you need anything at all. So if there's information that you can't find in that help center, come to campuscontact.com/support, and you can either search our knowledge base, actually, which goes back to there, I'm sorry, or you can contact us for any questions. We can even do remote support now, so if there's something weird going on your end and you want us to see it, we can do remote support so we can see what's going on your end. Or you can submit us a trouble ticket, and that just sends a ticket to us, and we'll address it immediately. Or you can also hit the live chat link, and we're always here Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Central Time. So lots of ways for you to contact us. So if you can't find what you need in that help link up here at the top right, then let us know, and we're here to help you out. Last in the top is the home button, which of course just takes you back to your dashboard so that you can either just be done and log out, or jump out to another website or preview stats or any of these other items. So we're going to go back into the website and talk about these items on the left-hand side. So everybody who has access to log in and manage the website has access to everything in the website, including one thing I don't want you to do, and that is the design button. I'm not even going to talk about it, but there's a design option at the top left of this, on the left-hand side here, that I don't want you to change. Now, while you do have access to it and you can change it, that's the one area that we ask you not to change, because it has some design areas where you can change colors and fonts and all kinds of stuff globally to your website, not to any individual page or any individual piece of content. These are global changes, and they're done by us on behalf of your district administrator or by their designs or requests. And so we just ask you to not make any changes under the design options. Not even going to go there. Instead, let's talk about some of these other options that you can use. First off is pages. So if you're familiar with your page manager in the old system, this is it. It's built right onto the page now, so it doesn't have to reload. There's no more page reloading, so everything is instant and fast and easy to get to. So that's nice. So to manage all your pages, you can just click on Pages, and you'll see all your pages listed out. And you can even drag and drop the sort order. So if you want to move students to the top, just drag and drop, move things around however you see fit. You want to put things in alphabetical order, piece of cake now. It's really, really easy to move things around, and bada boom, you are now in alphabetical order. So it's really, really easy to do that and manage any of the pages. Now, also making pages a child page, meaning that it's a sub page or a page under another page, is really easy as well. So if I want to put About Us under the home page, I just simply drag it to the right. And you'll see it now, change it over here on the right. I've made it a child page. So as easy as that, I can put everything under the home page if I want. And now I've got all of these sub pages. So it's really, really simple to move things around in the system, to make them parent pages or child pages, just by moving them around, drag and drop, and you can shuffle the order, whatever you want. Now also, each page has a little icon to the right side of it. That little gear icon will take you to the option to rename the page or even hide a page in the navigation. So many sites, in fact, I think almost all of them, have pages that are hidden from the navigation. Maybe it's a seasonal page, like an SAT prep page or a holiday page or whatever it is. For whatever reason, you'll have lots of different pages that maybe are not included in the navigation. So you can just click over here and hide it in all, and you'll see that parent page now is missing from the top navigation, but it's still over here on the left. Or you can even hide it from specific pages, or I'm sorry, from specific devices. So maybe you've got a page that's really heavy video page or a gazillion photos on it. It just doesn't work well on mobile. So just hide that page on mobile, and it's not an issue. You'll see it on your desktop, you'll see it on a tablet, but you won't see it on mobile. Or maybe vice versa. If you've got a page that you're really promoting on mobile and you want to hide it on the others, and you really want your mobile users to see it for whatever reason, maybe you're doing some marketing campaigns or whatever the case may be, you can hide it from any device or just hide it from all as you see fit. Of course, you can also duplicate a page, and it will copy every widget that's on that page and all of the content on it as well. And you can also manage the page URL. which is really nice from a marketing standpoint as well. So that's the slash what your page name is. So in this case, our site is called training.campuscontact.com, but then the parents page is just simply /parents, and that's how you would get to it. If we wanted to say, I don't know, parents of students, we could do that as well. So it would really be whatever you want that to be, and as far as the name of the page itself, how you want to promote that and what you want people to go to it. So you can customize that as much as you want. You can also manage the SEO by first allowing or disallowing search engines to search your page. So if you've got a page that's going to have teacher-only information or information that you don't want people to see without logging in, simply turn it off so it's not found in the search engines. Now there's no way to it, and maybe you can even hide it in the navigation so nobody can see it and nobody can find it in the search engines. Totally up to you. But you've got that ability to turn it off in the search engine so it's not found. So that's pretty useful, especially for stuff that shouldn't be found. Below that, you've got the option to manage the page title. So this is what's displayed to the search engines, and the page description, which is very important for you for later on as well. And then last is page keywords, but within the last year or so, keywords have become completely obsolete. It's a total waste of your time because the search engines don't use them anymore, so don't even bother with keywords. But you can manage your page description and page title, which I highly recommend you do, just to help your site be found that much easier. And last is the set password option. If you have a page or maybe a group of pages that you're going to have hidden to the public or require a password, maybe you're going to have a page for teachers. You can create a password for that page, and only people with that password, of course, can access the page. So it can be whatever you want. In fact, incredibly long, up to 100 characters. If you forget what that password is and you can't get back to it, don't worry, because you're the administrator and you can see it all the time. So you can come back in here and change the password. You cannot lock yourself out anymore. So that was a challenge in the past where people would set passwords to pages or set permission to pages, and they would actually lock themselves out of it. So that cannot happen anymore. You've got control now. And last, of course, is the delete function. So if you want to delete a page, you can do that. However, please know that there is no longer, at the moment, a recycle bin, so that when things are deleted, they are deleted forever. They are gone. There's no undo. If you delete a page, it is gone. So just keep in mind that that's important to remember as you manage your pages. There is no undo for your page management. So to create a new page, all you do is simply click New Page. And now we've got some really neat new stuff. First off, we've got the option to create just a normal blank page, and that's what most folks are going to be doing. And so if you create a blank page, of course, it's just going to be a blank page. We also have the option of page URL. And what that is a page that's going to redirect out of your website to some other URL, maybe to PowerSchool or to Google something or whatever it may be, a page that's going to link out of your website and go somewhere else when they click it in the navigation. Now, we've also created these great new templated styled pages so that depending on what kind of page you're going to make, we can start you off with a really nice template so it's got a lot of content and stylized stuff in it that will really make your page look great. So if you're going to create a Contact Us page, we've got one right there. It's got a map, it's got a Contact Us form, it's got a little picture you can change. So basically all you have to do is apply the templates and then change it to make it your own. You want to do a portfolio page? Great. Add it there and simply change the photos to whatever they need to be. So it's a really quick and easy process, easy way to start a really nice page with some information out there already. So in this case, if I'm going to start a new blank page, I just give it a name, my new page, click add, and instantly that new page is now over here on the right side. As we talked about a minute ago, if I want to move that around, I can do that. I can drag and drop it. I can make it a child page of anywhere else I want, in this case I'm under students. So you can create your pages and move them around however you see fit. I'm going to bring it back to the top here. So again, managing pages are real quick and easy. If you want to use some of the templated pages, like what I'm going to create an About Us page, just create About Us. I'll call it About My New Site. How about that? Because we already have one over there on left. And I'll add that page. And you'll see this templated page now already has some content on it. It looks great. It's, of course, not you or your school. So it's just a templated guide that allows you to, it just creates a nice place for you to start. And from there, to change it, you would simply go in and start managing your own information. Getting ahead of myself here. And change it to whatever you want. And just change the text to be whatever you want it to be. I guess that should be whatever. I don't know. So managing the content on these templates is really, really simple, and it's a great way to get you started with a nice clean page already. So I'm going to go back in here and delete that page just because it's going to push everything down. It looks ugly. So anyhow, so managing the page is really, really, really simple. Now we also have the option to create pop-ups, and we're not going to do that in this particular case. But you can create lots of different kinds of pop-ups as well. We have a training class specifically for pop-ups. We're not going to cover that in this one, but you can create lots of different pop-up messages and modify all of these, every bit of them, to be whatever you want them to be. So we're not going to get into that today, but just know that it's there. So that's your page management. Next on the list is widgets. And these are all the things that you want to do on your site. We used to call them modules. Now we call them widgets. They're really the same thing, and there's quite a few of them in here. So there's a lot of different things in here, and you can simply drag and drop them to the page and add them to your page. So click to call and image sliders and contact forms and all kinds of stuff in here. We're not going to go through all of them today, of course, but in the afternoon session, we're going to dig into quite a few of these and show you what they all do and how they all work. But you can see there's a long list of different widgets in here and things for you to play with and things to add to your site. So to add these to your page, you simply grab one and you drag it to the page. So if I want to add a photo to my page, for example, here's an image widget, and just grab that, drag it to the page, and it'll pop up my image selection. Here, I'll just add that one, and there's my photo. And to change it, if it's too big, I can just grab it and drag the size of it. If I want to move it around, I want it to be under my text, just drag it and move it around. So I can move stuff real quick and easy just by drag and drop. You can resize stuff however you see fit, just by grabbing the corners of it, just like you would in PowerPoint or Microsoft Word or anything else. It's just a matter of putting your mouse over it, grabbing the corners, and moving things where you want them to be. So it's really, really easy to manage all of the content in the site. Find a widget, drag it to the page. I'll drag that one out here, for example. This is our new WYSIWYG editor. So when you add it to your page, you can then add new text to the page. And this new editor is awesome because it's very small and light. It lets you edit right on the page. But there's also, of course, all of the usual options such as bold, italics, underline, and the different colors. But also a whole zillion, tremendous number of fonts available to you. This is the entire Google font library. So now, in the past, people said, I want some more fonts. There's just not enough options. Well, I assure you there are enough options now. And for those of you who want Comic Sans, well, yes, it's there. Although we're not happy about it, it is there for you. So all of the different fonts that you could ever imagine are there. And so just select different fonts and go crazy with them. You can even make them lighter or darker, alignment, center or left, right, however you want. Manage the line height. You can link things, and we'll talk a lot about links shortly as well. We can also build in connected content, which we'll talk about in a specific class as well. We can do bullets, and we can do numbers and all kinds of fun things here, as well as the undo. And I didn't mention the undo at the top, but we have that up there at the top as well. So we can undo back to at least 100 steps. So we've checked it quite a bit, and we've just gone back 100 steps. But I think you might even be able to go more. So I'm not really sure what the limit is on the undo, but just know that you can redo and undo a tremendous number of steps. When you're finished, either just click away from it or click the green check box, and your content is instantly saved. So there's nothing else you need to do. You don't have to click any save buttons or anything like that. But remember, it's not live, it's just saved. It's not live until you hit that republish button at the top for the world to see it. When you hit that, it will do this. It'll republish your website for a second, and then your content is done. And it just pushes it out. Congratulations, it's done. And then when you click your link, if you want to see how it looks, you can see that here's my content that's live. So that's actually live to the world. In fact, if you go to training.campuscontact.com/about-my-new-site, you'll see this content out there live to the world. So again, remember, it's not live, it's just auto-saved. So those are your widgets. Again, you can just add them to the page, just drag them, whatever you want. Just drag stuff out to the page, and as many things as you want, and put whatever you want out there. So there's a lot of different widgets for you to play with. And we're not going to cover those today, but that's really where you're going to want to create a test page and just go play with all of the different widgets that are available to you. Under the widgets option on the left-hand side, we've got content. And so we've got a lot of different options in here. First would be your business info. And this would be where you want to enter information about your school, maybe your phone number, give it a name, addresses or email addresses of people who are going to be in the website. And the reason we want to add these in here is so that later on, as you associate these phone numbers or email addresses with content in your website, they'll all already be entered. You don't have to type anything again. You just select it. So we can show you how that works shortly as well. Add in all your social media accounts. Enter them here. If you got Twitter and whatever the others are, just select them, add your information in, and it will automatically propagate as you add social widgets to your site. The same with your address. Put in your school's address, and then as you add a map later on, it will automatically be populated with your specific address. Any specific text you want to add to your site, this is valuable for SEO. You can use that in there. As well as any images, maybe a logo that you want to be seen on mobile devices or wherever, you can do that. We can also create collections of content, and collections is another area. It's kind of in depth, but basically you can create your own collections of photos and other content, files and whatever you want that can be used with the site, because collections can be shared with other schools. So we'll talk about that later as well. And we also have a find and replace option, which is really nice. In the past, if you've changed your phone number or changed your address or whatever it may be, you had to get a hold of us to go change that for you. Now you can change every single thing in your website on your own. You don't need us to do it for you. So it's real quick and easy to do. And then the very bottom one is your site content. And this is where you're going to manage all your photos and your files for your site. So if we click site content, we can manage images, and you can upload as many photos and create as many folders and subfolders as you want for all your photos. It will automatically optimize your photos for the web. So as you drag photos out here, or as you upload them to the site, even if they're directly from your camera, don't worry about it. If it's a 10 meg photo, who cares? It's going to crush it down to nothing, make it little bitty tiny, and it's going to work perfectly on the website. So we automatically optimize all your site's photos so they're not going to be huge, monstrous things anymore that slow your page down. So that is automatic, and there's nothing else you need to do. So if you're, in fact, there's a mobile editor built in as well. So if you're at a football game and you want to take a picture of some big event going on, you guys just scored the winning touchdown, take a picture, and right there from the sidelines, you can go to the mobile editor, upload it to your website. It'll automatically be optimized, and you can add it right to your page through the mobile editor. So it's a really nice tool, the photo editing and managing. So there's also a photo editor that will allow you to manage the photo in terms of its style. So we can select any photo. Actually, I'm in the wrong area. We can edit any photo and crop it, twist it, tweak it, add stuff to it, color it, resize it, whatever we want, just like you might in Photoshop right here within the website. So that's built in as well. I'll show you where that is momentarily. We can also manage your files. So uploading files is real easy, and we can even sync files now to not just your computer, but directly to Dropbox or even your Google Drive. So if you've got files and photos that need to be added to your website, but they're in your Google Drive, not a problem. Just connect to it and you're done. You can also do the same if you're using Dropbox or in your Gmail, or of course on your own computer, you can drag and drop them as well. So lots of new options in terms of managing where your photos or where the content on your website is coming from. So it's really nice and easy to manage those kind of things. A lot of folks are really using the heck out of the Google Drive because a lot of schools are going to Google now. And so it's a really nice way to do that, is just link it to your Google Drive. All of your photos and all of your documents in your Drive will be available to then be added to the website. And as you manage that file in your Google Drive, it's automatically updated on the website. So you don't ever have to update it again. If you're using a calendar, for example, and I don't know, a PDF or spreadsheet or whatever it is that you're doing on your Google Drive, as long as that file was shared from your Google Drive and you update it on your end, it's going to automatically update it on the website as well. So you don't need to re-upload it. You don't have to update the website at all. Manage the file from your Google Drive like you normally would, and it'll automatically update on the website. So that's a really nice new change. But you can upload as many files and documents and photos, whatever you want, to your website. Just go crazy and upload whatever you need. Next in the list is the personalization, which unfortunately we don't have time to talk about today. But basically, you can build lots of different pop-ups and different types of display messages for your website. For example, if you're going to be, maybe the school's closing for bad weather, whatever it is, you want to put a big bar at the top, you can do that. And you can do a big display notification across the top of your site for all the users. And maybe you want to do a message for users on specific devices or for holidays or maybe certain hours, whatever the case might be. You can do lots of different pop-up messages for folks based on different things. It can be on the device that they're using, maybe geolocation. It can be any specific date or time. Lots of different things that you can do. So we'll play with the personalization options later on, but this is definitely an area where you want to come in and play around and see what all you can come up with. There's a lot of really neat new things you can do within the website for these pop-ups. So come play with the personalization options as well. Next is your store. Now, there's a store built in and available to you. So if you want to add a school store, that is now available and built right into your system. However, the store that's available by default right now only allows you to add up to 10 items. So for most schools, that's probably plenty. If you need to add more, contact us and we'll talk to you about that. There is an additional price. I think it's about $20 to go up to 100 items. And if you really wanted to go nuts with your school store, you can even add up to, I think, 2,500 items. And that is an additional charge for that. I think it's about $100. So we can talk about that. But by default, there's a school store that comes with your site, and it's a full-blown e-commerce system, which we certainly don't have time to get in today. But there's a lot of options there, payment options and different apps and all kinds of things we can build into the store. So it's a full-blown e-commerce platform. So that's available to you by default, and you can add your school store whenever you want. There's also a blog option. So there's a great new blog, and if you haven't been to ours, go to campuscontact.com and click on our blog, and you can see how the blogs look now. And they're really nice and clean, and you can see that it's really easy to manage your blog, and they can look nice and clean and pretty. There's also some sharing options, so you can see all the different blog entries we've done. So if you want to have blogs for principals and superintendent and different folks throughout the district, by all means, you can add as many different blogs as you want. Everybody can have their own and manage their own, or they can all be on one. There are lots of different ways to sort it and filter it and things you can do with the blog. So know that the blog comes included, and it's easy to add to your website and just add it and blog away. And then last on the settings area is the settings option. And there's quite a few things under settings. And most folks don't like to play around in here because they're afraid they're going to break something. You can't break it, but there are lots of different settings in here for you. So first off, when you go into settings is your favicon. Now, by default, your site will have our Campus Contact icon. And that's just something we've added to all the sites as we build them out. But if you want to change yours to whatever your school logo is or whatever you want it to be, maybe a district logo or district icon, you can do that. You can manage that right there. You can also manage what the social networks see you as in terms of the social networks image. That'll be displayed on Facebook and LinkedIn and all the others. So it even tells you the size. It needs to be 200 by 200 pixels. So if you have a giant photo and you've uploaded it, you can actually edit it right here on the site, and we'll show you that in a few minutes. And then also on the tablets and mobile phones, the icon that's going to appear if they bookmark it on the home screen. So you can make a little icon, whatever you want it to be. Just click on it, and I don't know. If you have an icon, we'll let it be that little bunny. So there's your icon. So you can make it be whatever you want it to be. Your site URL, again, we can leave it by default as the whatever.campuscontact.com, or you can change the URL. Now, some administrators may not see this option in their settings. In some cases, we turn this off for the site administrators because the district folks just want to turn it off. But if you're gonna, if you've got access to that, you can change the URL to whatever you want it to be, or you can also assign it to your own specific URL instead of ours. So it's totally up to you. Again, if you don't have access to that, it's probably because your district administrator asked us to turn it off, and you just don't have that option. Now, all sites will now have SSL turned on for them. So that's something that we will do for you as your site goes live. We'll turn on the SSL certificate, and it just makes it more secure than ever before, and we'll take care of that for you. Next is the SEO options, the search engine optimization. And I highly, highly recommend that you take a minute to do this. And not enough people do this in the past or even now, to just take 1 minute. You only have to do it one time. Come in here and give your site a title, a short description, maybe your school name and whatever description it is of your school. And you can throw in some keywords if you'd like. Again, it's not really valuable anymore, but at least the site title and a basic description of your website so that the search engines can find you. If you're Pike County Schools, put in Pike County Schools. And we are Pike County Schools. We do whatever. I don't know. Put in a name, put in a description, put in something so that the search engines can find you. If you're not found in the search engines and you're wondering why, it's because your site doesn't even have a title or it doesn't have a description. So the search engines don't know who you are or what you are. Yes, they're looking at your content, and so they might find you based on the various amount of content and the types of content you have on your page. But it's so much better if you take a minute to add your site title and your site description. Just go to Settings, SEO, and add your site title and description. Next, as I mentioned before, while the sites do have our own built-in analytics tool, if you want to use Google Analytics, by all means, go right ahead. Click the Google Analytics icon or option and paste that Google code right there, and it will instantly link with your Google Analytics. It does take 24 hours for data to show from here to Google Analytics. So if you don't see it instantly, that's not us, that's Google. They pull it daily. So it will be about 24-hour cycle before it shows. You can do URL redirects if you need to. We can do header HTML. Header HTML are very rarely used, but for things like Google site authorization, where you have to prove that you own the site, Google will give you a little code and say, put this little HTML snippet in your site. Well, you would do that, and that's how they'll verify your site ownership. You'll paste it in here, click Save, go back to Google, and say, verify my site, and then Google sees that code, and you're good to go. So it's not used for much other than site verification. Backups of the site. This is really cool, and this gives a lot of comfort to a lot of people now, and it really gives you a lot of control and options that you can do. All your sites are backed up every single time you publish them or every single time you log in. So you can see that I've logged into this site quite a bit, and I can restore it back to any previous version by just clicking the restore button. In fact, I did it this morning. I changed it from a bright yellow design to the new Leake County Schools design just by changing the design. And if I want to roll it back to any previous version, I can click restore. And in just a second here, it's going to roll it back to the previous version. So here we go. Here's, oh, I guess that was before I published it, actually. Let me go back one more so you can see how that works, the backup. Let's go back, the first one there. There we go. So this is how my site looked first thing this morning when I got here. There it was. So it was a bright yellow design with Union County Schools and had lots of yellow stuff. And so if I made a big mistake, I can always roll it back by going to Settings, Backup Site, and restore it to any previous version. So if you've made a mistake in your website, or you deleted a bunch of pages or some content, whatever it is that you just really have to get back, it's saved right there under Settings, Backup Site, and go find the date and time prior to when you messed things up, and you can restore it just by clicking the Restore option. If you restore it to the wrong version, don't worry about it. The original one you had is still there. Just go back and restore it to a different version. So it's really nice. It's a really simple thing to do, and it's a very valuable and powerful tool to be able to restore from any previous versions real quick and easy, just a single click. There's also site language built in, which we actually don't use this one very much because we have a Google Analytics widget, Google Translate widget that you can add to your page. So this version isn't really needed, but it's here if you want to like hard translate your site to any specific language. I wouldn't recommend it. It's just there. Privacy settings, you can, if you want to turn on what they call a GDPR language at the bottom, or it's like a little cookie notification, or if you want to create your own privacy policy for your site, you can do that in your settings area. There's a template of a privacy policy which you can modify as much as you want, or you basically just go in and just change the basic verbiage to your own. So that's available for you if you want to use that. Most schools don't have that, but by all means, if you want to turn it on, you certainly can. The cookie notification is the little GDPR thing that pops up at the bottom that everybody ignores. We use cookies for this page. So if you want to turn that on, you can do that. You can see how it looks in the preview, actually. And you'll see here at the top, we use cookies. So you can change that verbiage to whatever you want it to be. I've actually seen a couple of folks now using that as a method of school closure, which is kind of an interesting idea. So you can say, school is closed today due to bad weather. And if you do that, now when they go to your website, they'll see school is closed today due to bad weather. And of course, you can turn that off as well. It could be used for school lockdown or whatever else. But again, we have the pop-ups for that. But I've seen people using it for just momentary notifications. So it's kind of an interesting idea. So that's under your privacy settings. Next is your 404 page. And a 404 page is what people get to see when a page no longer exists. For example, if they click on a page in your site that's no longer there, it'll say 404. Well, you can modify this thing and you can customize the heck out of it, make it look however you want. There's some really fun ones out there. If you go to Google and just type in 404 error, you'll see there's just thousands of really clever, creative, fun ways of showing people that the page they're looking for is no longer there. Now, that's not really an error, and it's kind of a misnomer. Really what that is if you had a page in your website that you got to from a link, maybe on your homepage you had a link to homecoming photos on somewhere in your site, but then later you deleted that page, but you didn't also delete the link, well then that link now has nowhere to go. It's not an error, it's just that link that you created to a page that's no longer there, that link has nowhere to go. So instead of just popping up a huge error, server crash kind of error, it just says that page isn't there anymore. I don't know where it is. So you can modify that page however you want. Some of the ones I've seen, actually one of the ones we're using by default on most of ours now looks like this, the 404 error, because this was actually given to us by a school system in Alabama, I think, somewhere, and they thought it was really cute, so we're using that all over the place. So just kind of a fun 404 page error. So we're seeing that just lots of different types of errors. So you can modify that however you see fit. And last but not least is the Progressive Web App. Essentially, we can turn your website into an app that they can access, that users can access on their phone or iPads, or any device really. And basically, it takes your entire website and makes it into an app. There will be a little icon from the icons that we selected earlier up here, the site icons. And that icon will show on their mobile or tablet device. And will basically open your website in an app format. So instead of browsing it through a regular browser, which can be kind of slow, it will be instantaneous because the entire website is downloaded and put into an app form. What's nice is as you update the website, that app is also updated, so they don't ever have to actually go to the website in a browser anymore to look at your website. They can just pop open that app and all that information is there. Anything you push to the app is instantly there. So it's a really nice new way to manage your website without you having to do anything at all. You don't have to manage an app. You don't have to ever even touch an app. You just make it available by turning it on, and it will automatically prompt users the option to download and install the website as an app. So if they do that, it'll put it on their home screens and or wherever they choose to put the app, and then they can click it and open it up. So it's a really nice new way to access your website quickly and easily, and it's just a really nice tool. So I would highly recommend to come in and turn this on. It is off by default, so you just go in here, click on Progressive Web App, and turn that on. Like I said, by default, it's turned off like this. You're just going to want to click that box, turn it on, and give it a name, maybe a short name, maybe an icon that you want them to see, maybe a specific color that you want them to see while the app loads, whatever it is. So you can manage that real quick and easy. And when you're finished, make sure that you hit the republish button at the top, because that's what pushes all of these changes out. Again, any change you make within the website stays in the website. Nobody else gets to see it until you hit the republish button at the very top. So make sure that you do that. That's going to be absolutely critical for you. So I think I've covered just about everything in the high-level overview. We talked about your home dashboard, how to get to your websites, how to see your forms over here on the right side, all your form responses. You can manage your store and your blog if you turn the blog on. You'll see your site stats. You can preview the site. And when you go into your website, just a quick overview here, you'll see the options across the top of your site. Because you've got that black bar, we now know we're logged into the website. We're in management editing mode. There's our almighty republish button at the top right. All of our other options on the left-hand side of where we can add pages, add widgets, manage content. We can do lots of little pop-ups and manage the store and the blogs. Lots of little setting options, all that sort of stuff. And any help that you need along the way, of course, you can get it at the top with this info and tools. You can get it from, campuscontact.com/support. And contact us either through chat or any of these other methods here on our website. So that is it for a high-level overview of the whole website. I know it was kind of fast. We're blowing through it. So I really recommend that when you get your website, take a little bit of time and go play around with it. You can't hurt it. You can't break it. If you manage to mess something up or delete something that you didn't mean to, you've always got, in the settings, the backup, and you can restore to any previous version as well. So don't worry about it. Get in here. Don't be afraid of it. Add stuff, move things around, go play. And that's what we're going to do in the afternoon session. We're going to play. We're going to add a lot of pages. We're going to add page types. We're going to create columns and lots of different widgets on the page. Then we're going to blow it all up. And we're going to delete things and move things. And we're going to copy stuff. We're going to do all the fun editing stuff this afternoon at 4 o'clock. So make sure that you come back. Go to campuscontact.com/training. And when you're at the training link, of course, click on, actually fill out the little form, and it will take you to the link where you can click to join us at 4 o'clock. I promise that will be a much more fun and entertaining session than this high-level overview one, but come back at 4 o'clock and we'll dive in and have lots more fun. So I'm going to open it up for any questions. Anybody have any questions? You can either use the chat link at the top right, or I'm going to just unmute you here. Unmute. If you have any questions, now's a good time. Chirp, chirp. Okay. Well, and on that note then, unless there's any other questions, check back at 4 o'clock this afternoon, campuscontact.com/training, and we'll dive in and do some actual site editing. Until then, if you need us, hit us up on the support site anytime. Thanks so much. Talk to you soon.